Hey, Drew, guess what?
What?
We're in an advertisement.
Well, that is neat.
Anchor has asked us to help advertise the platform we use for this very podcast.
Using Anchor has made it really easy for us to distribute our podcast across almost every streaming service and has helped us grow to the point we're at now.
Yeah, thanks, Anchor. You're the best.
If you have any questions about using Anchor, please reach out to us. We'd love to share our personal experience with you and help you get started doing your own podcast.
All right, let's start the show. All right, welcome to season 2 of the Good Bottle Podcast. This is the ultimate mashup. We are taking both tasting notes and our podcast, the Good Bottle Podcast, and we're squishing it together.
Would we call it the flagship?
The flagship.
We're taking the flagship and the tasting notes because we don't really have a name for the main podcast. Or is it even the main podcast?
It's the main. The main.
Oh,
the
so I'm the side?
Podcast.
Yes.
I'm the side?
Yes.
Chloe's the side piece.
If you look at the episode numbers, you're always a half.
I'm always a half. Just like in real life.
We are your hosts. I am Chris Sinclair.
I'm Chloe Henry. Wow, I don't even know my name.
Who are you?
Hold on. I'm Chloe Henry.
That's lovely.
And I'm Drew Garrison. To her credit, she went to me first.
I got
nervous. And then she forgot who she was when you pointed at her.
Yeah.
So you can tell that in a podcast that none of us have been doing very long, whether it is the flagship and or the tasting notes, we're like, fuck it, time to throw a wrench in it. Let's try to come up with a whole brand new realm.
Let's rebrand this thing.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, it's only one episode. This is a special one. I hope this was a great way to start out the new year. And
I think so.
I thought it'd be fun for us to be in the same room at some point in time as well.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And I think it's going to be... Maybe if we get extreme fanfare, you guys should do that every time. You might just be roped into this, Chloe, and then vice versa. Because I know I've listened to the tasting notes, and I'm really excited about the rules that I have to abide by.
That's right. Which are?
Which I can't say if I like something.
That's right.
And I can't say anything is smooth.
Correct.
Yeah. Right.
That's
He already knows he's better off than us.
Yeah.
He's ready to.
Yeah,
fight.
you guys probably going to succeed at the not saying whether or not you like something or not.
You guys are terrible
We
at
are.
that.
We are.
Yeah,
But
it's admittedly a fail.
I'm not hiding it.
Yeah. It's fun to listen to. 'Cause it just makes me think they really, really enjoy this. So we're jumping right into it, and we're going to do it to where,
Let's
like I
dive
said,
right in, Drew.
it's a mashup. So we are going to tell you what this first one is. Now, I don't really know what this is, but
This is where
Chris
I
and-
hop in.
This is where Chris and Clay do know what we're drinking.
This is where I hop in. So, as always, we taste a wine and then we taste a spirit. Today we have a wine that Chris has in the shop at Good Bottle, and I also have this on the list at Empress Tavern. It is a piquette, which is something I had no idea what that was until I got this wine sold upon me. But very, very cool. It's been around for a long, long time. It actually dates back to the ancient Greek and Roman times. And, most recently up on the, the East Coast. So basically what a piquette is after you press the grapes for the, the juice, the wine, they're doing it a second time. So think about like a tea bag, you're doing it twice over. It's like you're pumping it back in. So what we're doing is we're pressing the pomace, which is, the grape skins, the seeds, and we're doing that a second time. So you're getting like a lighter flavor. There's still definitely some juice in those, skins and grapes and all that, but this is the second time around. So it's like a lighter, thinner version.
That's all really cool, but I will say that when you said the word teabag, I just immediately jumped to Halo in my mind and watching 13-year-olds playing video games, teabagging the guys, their kills.
Did not go there with that.
I did not either. In
I
fact,
thought
thought it was very descriptive, and I thought you were going to see, oh yeah, you're right. After I use my chamomile tea bag once, I usually use it a second time for the flavor.
No, it's all about video games. I'm a very mature 13-year-old.
I also don't drink enough tea. So, because that reference right over the top of my head. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've made tea before. I dip it in the hot water a couple times.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, well, this is to get it in there. This one's for the flavor. That was never.
All right,
part of
sorry.
the thought
So I
process.
just bombed on both aspects of that.
No,
tea bagging. It is a piquette. So this particular one is from Field Recordings out of Paso Robles. It's called Tang. This is considered also a natural wine, so We kind of talked about that in a previous podcast before. But this one is made with Pinot Gris, Chenin, and Riesling skins. So first off, for the viewers at home, listeners at home, it's very funky looking. It looks like almost like a champagne. Nice, foam bubbles on top. What do you get when you put your schnoz in it?
Light yeast. It's a little like lemon zest, but it's...
I get like grapefruit for sure on it. But now the crazy thing is, once you try this fucking thing, dude, it's like, I already told Chris, I've tried this one before. I'm sorry, I'm cheating. It is very interesting. So
my first taste, I was like, oh, are we allowed to say I don't like it? But
You're not.
But
you ruined it.
Then I continue to let it unfold, and it's you're right, it's interesting, and it continues to kind of have different layers, and I don't usually get that with wine.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
What I usually find in wines that I would call thin is you get a lot of flavor up front, dies away. This is sort of the opposite. You get very little flavor up front, except for what you notice from the effervescence and the texture, and then kind of the more you swallow and the more
it lingers.
Let it roll around, the flavor sort of unfolds that way, which is a reverse parabola in terms of flavor.
Okay.
Yeah, so thin in many ways. Thin obviously because it's like a second pressing of the grapes, you're not getting as much. It is also a 7%, so you could take this whole bottle down. You ain't gonna feel anything,
right?
Except for me.
This this tastes like wine flavored soda water.
It kind of reminds me if you were going to do a White Claw of wine.
Yes. Yes. Citrusy, little winey White Claw.
Yeah.
No laws on the piquette.
No laws.
But also, you look way classier drinking this. So it's like a really beautiful green bottle, red labeling, big word of Tang across it. So if you grew up as a kid in the 90s, you remember the Tang orange drink. So like, I'm feeling nostalgic right now.
For sure.
But it's boozy, so that's
also,
really a pleasure.
Also, Drew, I don't know if you knew this, but there's like some new wine terminology in the industry, and Tang actually refers to like volatile acid.
I did not know that.
So I don't know if this particular label was doing it on purpose or if they're doing it because it reminds them of like that orange tangness. But yeah, so I was going to ask actually Russell to ask them, but it's kind of a funny play on words. I don't know if it's, Tang because of the acidity. I don't think it's overwhelmingly acidic.
I don't think so. Okay, so for our listeners, like, Tang is very prominent on this label, which makes me think that it's, it's not as much of a descriptor, but it would be like what the wine is called, I mean, it's basically saying like, it'd be like putting buttery on there. Yeah. In terms of a tasting note, which is really interesting. So now I like desperately want to know the reason behind
Glad
Tang.
I hooked you into it.
Oh my God. Like,
now it's so much more interesting.
I already liked it kind of, but now
it's like salty
like
water.
Yeah, and now it's just like Tang. It's like, why is that on there? You're putting, it's and not even like tangy, which you've described.
Let's rewind. What for our listeners, Chloe? Can you define volatile acidity?
Yeah, so volatile acidity is kind of usually a flaw in wine, especially in the making of natural wine, which one of these is. And it's basically when you taste a wine and it gives you like, think about it, it's like violent. It's like, it's really acidic. It's like this. So that's what they're referring to, is they're saying that when you drink a wine, it's not balanced. It's not like that perfect, when you have like a, German Riesling where you get that hit of acid in the beginning and then it rounds out that, the richness, that sweet, that smooth. So this is supposed to be like just super acidic and it's like that high note and it doesn't really balance out. But like Drew said, the label itself just makes it look like they were calling it Tang instead of like, Kool-Aid or like, Capri Sun. So I don't know. I don't know what their thought process was with it, but
and you keep coming back to the natural wine thing. I know you said you guys have covered it before, but just like a brief overview, like what's really the qualifier here to be able to call it a natural wine? Because I know I hear it all the time now.
Oh, so well, for this one, basically when they're farming, it's, they're all organic practices and they're not fining or filtering it. So the wine you're seeing is the wine it is. So like that's exactly what it was. They didn't do something to strip it out to make it, like I said, it was cloudy. In the glass, it's very cloudy looking, kind of funky. Like, I don't know, like mouthwash maybe.
So it's kind of like where with whiskey, if you're talking about an unchill filtered whiskey, all those fats, all those lipids are still in it because it doesn't go through that type of filtration process. So it's really interesting. Like there's going to be a lot more more of that umph to it.
Yeah, that's one facet, right? The fining and filtering is one facet of the natural winemaking process.
Right.
The other part is, I think, like we're seeing with one of our last episodes when we were talking about the plant theory, right? And why natural wines are growing again. It's because of that organic side and that marketing that's coming out of it being made a little bit better, a little less shelf stable, I guess.
And they're with natural wines, they're constantly evolving in the bottle. So if we were to open up this bottle, say this time next year, it would taste probably a little bit different, like a lot of different, because it's constantly still, it doesn't have that stabilizer to make it stop and stay the same way.
Well, me and Chris fall into the camp of, even with distilled spirits, we believe that there is some changes that occur if they're in there for long enough. So that's right up my alley in terms of that kind of thought process, which is really cool. I mean, and it's something that I definitely want to get more into. I've always really, really enjoyed wine, and I've had, some times where I've dabbled a little bit more within my own portfolio. We have a lot of weird stuff from like Moldova and Lebanon, and we do have a lot of those natural wines, but I never really wrapped my hand around it. So that's really, really fun pour to start things off with. And again, I'm so intrigued by the tang part. Like that just is like, I'm like, wait, that's not what it's called. It looks like what it should be called. But
it is what it's called.
That is what it's called. Yeah, it's called tang.
Oh, so it is. All right.
It's
So
the name of it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but it also knowing that it's like a tasting note.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Is pretty rad.
Yeah. Cool. I'm glad you liked it.
So
all right, Drew, what's next?
So now we're on to the mystery spirit.
We both have mystery spirits, and I'm very excited about this.
Wait, there's two spirits.
Oh yes. Oh, I'm very
wow.
excited about this.
Okay, so this is quite the collaboration effort here.
That's right. It's going to be off the chain, as it were.
I'm scared.
As the kids say.
Okay, here we go. Then I'll kick it off. So we're gonna pour the Lost Spirits Jamaican rum from Los Angeles, and I understand why that's confusing. But Lost Spirits is I guess kind of a distillery in some ways, but they really, what they're known for is taking distillates and rapidly aging them
Through sonic vibration.
Well, actually, it's light.
Oh,
so
really?
these guys are light. Yeah.
Oh.
So it's light and wood is what they're doing. The machine, it's like a reactor. It's called Thea. Brian Davis is the owner, and they have a couple single malts. They have the Navy style, which is kind of what they're known for. He's done all kinds of crazy stuff over the years, but this is their Jamaican expression. So in this scenario, what he did was he got some base spirit from E.H. Shear. So for those of you who don't know, that is a big company in England or Denmark? Denmark, that they just have collections of rum from all over the world. And so this is a blend of a couple different rums from Jamaica that he then brought to his facilities in Los Angeles, where they did this rapid aging on it. So I go ahead and...
All right, Drew, Jamaican me thirsty. Why don't you pour me some?
Oh boy, I'm glad that happened like that.
Me too.
So this is a really fun one because this actually took a while to get into circulation, and I'm very happy to report that it does now exist in the marketplace. For a while, you could only get it at the distillery. And oddly enough, the only retail store you can get it at is Good Bottle, and the only bar in Sacramento you can get it at is Jungle Bird.
Weird.
Yeah. So these guys are again, they're actually somewhat like controversial within the world of spirits because, again, they're taking like single malts from Isla and then doing them through this rapid aging process and then basically simulating a 12-year-old Scotch profile in like 18 months.
That is scandalous.
Yeah. And then you can imagine with like rum kind of do the same thing because you have your rum aficionados who are just kind of like, this is ridiculous. Now
an imposter.
Like the whiskey line is called the abomination line. So
that's great.
Like Brian really leans into it, which I think is hilarious.
That's great.
And then even with this one, which I think is really awesome, when he first submitted to TTB for the labeling, he actually threw on like Money Musk in Hamden and a couple other different distilleries. Now those are prominent distilleries in Jamaica that are really well known. Of course, TTB label approvals are public records, so for those nerds that go in there and look at those things, they saw that, posted them onto like, your Facebook sites and stuff like that, and people lost their goddamn mind. And it was so funny because then Brian came back and he goes, listen, I have no intention of putting any of those names on here, but when you're dealing with this government agency, you ask for the moon and then you settle for the things that you actually wanted. So he knew he wasn't going to get those things anyways, but when he was able to concede the fact that he wasn't going to put Worthy Park on there and stuff like that, he was like, oh yeah, I'll just do it this way. I'll just put Jamaica on it. Because Jamaica does have some pretty strict rules when it comes to like calling something actually Jamaican rum and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting. And now it's actually at a fever pitch because there's some rules that are being proposed. And it's something I do want to talk about on the podcast eventually, but it's a lot to digest.
Sounds like a side episode.
A
full numbered episode, not a 0.5, but a
not
whole one.
Not a Chloe episode.
Not a Chloe episode.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you take in the nose on this, and it's just
1 point Chloe.
You would think. I mean, just like caramel notes.
Wow.
Just a lot of sweetness coming through as well.
It's also really, really dark.
Yeah, and there's no color added to this at all.
Wow.
Yeah, this is all just from the wood that they put in it. They use charred New American oak.
It's like watered down Coca-Cola, the color. Like
get
a couple ice cubes in there.
Yep.
Very amber. Yeah, dark amber. I would, the nose has that Jamaican funk definitely coming off of it. It's very, rotten. Which I love. I mean, that's rotten, fermenting.
Mm-hmm.
You love.
Well, it's a Jamaican funk.
Mm-hmm. It is Jamaican funk. It's what is typically known as Jamaican funk, right? But it's those high esters that big flavor coming off in the glass. I haven't even touched it to my lips yet, and this is making me drool.
They did a really good job. Like there was times when I didn't think that we were actually gonna ever get it to be able to sell. I mean, and granted, I got 2 cases. That was it. The facility that Brian produces out of is actually won awards for like best distillery tour. It's been compared to like the Willy Wonka tour from the movie because it's like you actually get in a boat and you take a boat around the distillery, and there's like a dragon still in there and stuff. It's supposedly just supposed to be crazy.
Genius.
Yeah.
Chris is so happy right now. I wish you could see the look on his face after he took a sip of that.
I'm gonna use a Chloe line. This rum's interesting.
It's very endearing. But yeah, it just did a really solid job. I mean, it clocks in at I think 57 and a half.
Yeah.
So,
but it doesn't taste like, for me, that's the one thing where I'm like, oh, that's hot. It's like, it's very smooth, very caramely.
God damn it.
Funk. Oh,
you
wow.
motherfucker.
Oh my God. I just did it.
Oh, you're fired.
Well, thank you guys. This was an honor. It's a pleasure to be a part of this episode. I will be taking off now.
That's the end of our collaboration.
Can I just sit here and drink while you guys finish this?
Oh my God.
Absolutely. I think it is very well rounded.
Thank you.
And easy to drink. It's surprising because it does clock in at at that high ABV. So you would think that it would be a lot rougher, but they just did a really good job of finding that balance. And
the heat definitely comes on the nose, but it's not. It doesn't follow through.
No,
which is like dangerous.
Very dangerous.
You're just kind of like, oh yeah, like this is going down really easy, and I'm gonna keep drinking it and go from there. Oh, so far we have 2 really rad options of what to drink, and I'm like very excited about what you brought to the table.
Oh, are we ready for my mystery juice?
Whoa.
Are you gonna keep it mystery the whole time until the end?
No. I'm about to whip it out.
Yikes.
There we go.
Okay.
It's enclosed in a black tote bag.
That's right. I will tell you, I only have some idea of what this is. So it's kind of even a mystery to me what this is.
Oh,
so I'm
great.
very excited to unveil this around you both because I think we'll be able to decipher it. So
Oh wow.
Oh, that doesn't look good at all.
this is, it comes
It's
out
rusty. What the
in a
hell?
light bulb. There is an old text stamp
Do you have your tetanus shot up to date?
on that's wearing itself off around the top of the light bulb bottle. Inside of the bottle is a pear.
Yes, that's a pear.
But it's obviously been in here long enough that the skin is working its way into the juice.
Can I say that it looks like a fetal pig in a jar right now? Like you got this out of a science class and we have to drink it now.
Correct.
Where did you get this?
This was gifted to me.
Who hates you?
A lot of people.
The list is long.
This is obviously someone who's playing the long con, though.
It's on the label. It says Torino, Italy. So it's an Italian pear spirit,
Pear Williams. Yes.
and it's got some sort of certification. Like it definitely someone allowed it.
What I thought was very interesting on this label as well is that it's the ingredients are aquavita de pear, alcohol, and Para Williams.
Which is also the name of the spirit.
Yeah. So aquavita de pear, I'm assuming then is eau de vie, pear eau de vie in there.
Okay.
But it could be aquavit.
This has been
I don't
sealed,
know.
right?
I don't speak. Yes, this is perfect.
Okay, so we're the first ones trying it.
Yes,
Great.
this is.
Okay.
Drew and I have talked often about collecting spirits and whether or not to open them and what sits in your collection. This was one of those that I just couldn't bring myself to part with because I was so fascinated by it and I wanted to consume it.
What's the ABV on it? Does it say?
Not in a language I understand.
Yeah, there's a lot of commas.
Okay. And so, like, I mean, I've seen, like, Pear Williams, but I
Yeah.
have it, like, so in our own portfolio, we have a Baudel that's from Croatia that is a Pear Williams. So I'm wondering if that's a category. There is a lot of sediment in that
Yes,
bottle.
there is.
This is all. Yeah, this is all.
It's like a snow globe.
Yeah.
Oh my
of
gosh.
pear skin.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Oh, you hear that is how that sounds.
Oh, and then it's look at that, guys. It's sealed as well on top of it.
Oh,
So
good,
you're
good.
you're safe from
Okay,
any
yeah.
We were worried about the rest on it, but
EVELT Torino. Oh, I've never opened one of these. This is really cool.
there's a wine cue thing. Yeah.
Forgive the surrounding noise, home
There's
listeners.
there's a lot going on with this bottle. So again, it kind of looks like a light bulb.
How many years do you think you've had this?
I haven't had it that long, but a friend of mine gave it to me, and it's been sitting in his collection for definitely a few years. He does not remember where he got it. He does a lot of drugs, so that doesn't surprise me.
Oh,
But
well, I guess I won't ask who then.
Yeah. Keep that identity sealed.
it's okay. He knows who he is. He enjoys a good time. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, we've got the top off. Oh, and then there's an additional. Oh, this is a plastic seal in there, so
There's a plug.
It can't be terribly old. Then
Yeah, that definitely brought it back
There we
a
go.
little bit.
Okay.
There was 3 levels that you had to get through to get to this
well, that means
magic elixir.
Holy moly, that smells incredible, though. Oh, damn it! I just wasted some of it over our poor Matt.
got some on
I'm
my
so
jeans.
excited. Well,
Okay, can I see the bottle?
yes, you may.
me,
Would you like to plug the plastic plug?
I want something.
Okay.
The color on this is like a light apple juice.
Yeah. Looks like a cider, like a very.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely there's that pear skin sediment that's floating around in there still. the legs on Spirit are funny because they don't tell you the same thing that wine legs tell you.
Yeah.
They tell you a little bit more about the water that's in that.
Oh, Drew's face has me
Oh,
worried.
this is lovely.
Right, cheers.
Cheers.
Because he went without us.
Well, she kept looking at me. She's like, she wants me to go.
I want you to go.
I'm gonna go.
This is.
Oh. That is interesting.
It's like musty, and like maybe you just let it go too long.
It's a little thin.
You know.
I don't think it's thin at all because I still have it clawing to the side of my tongue.
I don't want to say it's the taste is abrupt, like it's there, then it's gone pretty quickly.
Yeah.
For me,
Sure.
but like
It might be
there,
because it's old. I don't know. Again, we don't know how old this
Kind of
is.
reminds me of like umashu.
Sure.
When you make with the plums.
You want to tell the plum wine?
Yeah, plum wine.
Japanese plum wine. But this is also quite astringent on the nose without the alcohol being the astringency.
Well, you don't get like a lot of fruit like on the nose. You get
so it's a Williams pear that's in it.
Right.
That's what that
is.
Yeah, Pear Williams. We knew.
Just mixing it up.
All the listeners are collectively rolling their eyes at Drew right now.
We went over this already.
We did. And pears and spirits, I think are people expect sort of sweet, juicy pear to be the flavor. In my experience, pear and spirits is a lot drier.
Yeah.
You're thinking, in my experience, typically like an under-ripened pear that you bite into, and those tannins that dry out your tongue. That's my experience typically with pear in booze.
Yeah.
So this rings true to that, unless of course it's like a liqueur. Like the St. George spice pear is like a cooked pear. It's very, very sweet.
I'm kind of surprised this is like an Italian spirit. Just because, normally with Italian spirits you get kind of like that bitter, obviously like a bitter flavor, and I'm not really getting bitter. Like,
no, it's dry. I wouldn't say it's bitter.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Well,
Drew's desperately working on getting his producer credits for this right now.
I mean, I wish I would have brought my laptop. I'm looking off of a tablet right now, and it doesn't do the automatic translate. I found a website.
Aqua Fruta.
Oh, well, that's lovely, and I really hope we'll post that web address to the notes in the podcast for everybody if you're interested in.
I'm gonna go back to Tang.
Understanding what we're living through right now. Well, guys, thank you so much for being a part of that tasting.
Thank you for bringing that.
I wanted to do something really special for this episode, and I couldn't let this bottle go without knowing what it tasted like.
I mean, I'm glad I put it in my mouth.
Yeah,
for sure. Now I know that
now
it's like
you know.
This is what it's like to like drink like pear brandy in like a crypt, in, like Eastern Europe, and that's been sitting there for a long time.
Pass me that crypt brandy.
That's what it has that musty, wet stone.
Yeah.
As if this was served to you by skeletal hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Count Dracula was like, when I'm not drinking blood, I drink this.
I drink Pear Williams.
That's what he was saying.
Wow.
I don't always drink blood.
When I don't.
I'm on a Dracula kick. I just watched a Netflix series, and so it's topical right now. But speaking of topical subjects, headlines. All right, so this is going to be a brand new segment for Chloe. Usually at this point she'd be like, all right, and she'd leave, but now she's got to be part of the flagship, and she's going to give her 2 cents. So to start things off, we're gonna hit her with a story that actually, she probably will have some opinions on. But Amazon, Facebook, Google, and other tech titans back Trump's tariffs on French wine and cheese. So back in July of 2019, the French government put in a tax that was basically going to collect revenue from international tech companies that are doing business there. So if their users in France are using it and they're making some money, like France is going to be able to pull some money from that. It was a 3% tax on gross revenues, which as one rep described as basically like chump change for these guys. The Office of the U.S. Trade Representative deemed them unfair and encouraged the U.S. to use remedial tools to discourage other countries from doing stuff like this. So those tools would be imposing 100% tariff onto French wine and cheese. Now, this is all happening at this hearing, and then there was dozens of people testifying the other way. One of them being Barclay Stewart, who was the executive director of Southern Wine and Glazer distributor. And some of the numbers that they had come up with is if these tariffs were to go into effect, you're looking at potentially or up to $718 million cost to importers and 17,000 job losses out of it if these tariffs go into effect. And that's how they feel. And meanwhile, the evil empires of Amazon, Facebook, and Google are sitting there complaining about a 3% tax that they now have to pay. You know, keep in mind Amazon, who did not pay taxes last year.
Are you fucking kidding me?
He's been busy. He's been getting a divorce. You know, his wife's doing other things.
Yeah,
He
so
doesn't have time.
it's obviously pretty ridiculous that that these tech companies would create such a tiff over this and allow the USTR to represent them in such a way, because this is just bad optics, right?
Yeah.
If you're just kind of like,
But is it bad enough? That's my question. The amount of optics that have been so poor for so many tech companies now, it's sort of like I'm just going to keep smoking because everything gives me cancer.
Or I'll die anyways.
Yeah. So everything's bad.
Right.
So this isn't any worse.
right.
Right? So, and I feel like so much of our public image of ourselves is wrapped up in this. Well, everything sucks. All politicians are bad. So what's worse about this, right? All tech companies are terrible. So yeah, obviously. But this is so fucked. This is incredibly fucked. This is everybody else literally can go fuck themselves. We just want our 3%. I also understand from a devil's advocate perspective that it's like protecting a trademark. You have to do it just to do it. It doesn't really matter if you care, but it only means a thing if you actually defend it, right? I get that these tech companies still like, yeah, it's 3%. They'll go ahead and do it, but it's the veracity in which they do it that really, really shows their true intent and how little they give a fuck about anybody else.
Yeah, and I think the thing to consider here is that this isn't just about France. This is being used as a deterrent for other countries. So products come, like different products. So we're not talking about just French wine and cheese and stuff like that. Like they're trying to do this to discourage any other country from doing a similar thing to them when it comes to their social media platforms being available in their country. So let's say, they go, like Italy does a similar thing.
Yeah, like are you saying that they don't, like these tech companies, they don't like balsamic vinegar? They don't like grana padano cheese? You're telling me that they don't like these things and they're okay with this?
No, they love it. They make enough money to say, fuck it, it doesn't matter.
But even rich people don't like to spend a lot. That common phrase, like, how do you think they got rich? They didn't spend money. They saved money. So you would think that this would also hit them, like, in the pocketbooks, for sure. It's like, we're talking, like, you can't just recreate, like, authentic champagne in the States. You just can't. I'm sorry. Like, they try, but you don't get that nice terroir. I'm sorry. It's very controversial, but champagne is fucking champagne.
Is it? Is that controversial?
It's just...
I feel like everybody knows this by now.
No, but you know what I mean. You got like the California sparkling wines that are like, oh, our terroir is similar. Oh, it's the best you can get closest to champagne. No, you cannot. I'm sorry, it is not. It's not.
Yeah.
I think the calculations, though, for them are the amount that they're going to make versus the amount they individually have to spend.
Well, I hate them.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, and I mean, and obviously to tie this into the industry and how it affects us is that those job losses that they're referencing. Now, this is only about the wine and cheese. These numbers, these 17,000 job loss, like that's just for there. We're not even considering the whiskey aspect of it and what is being currently, put together with like Scotland and stuff like that. That hearing's not till January 17th. So my assumption, and who knows if they're going to be backing that one as well, because again, like this is very specifically tied to France and the fact that France is imposing a 3% tax on potential revenue being claimed.
I think this also really goes and flies in the face of the art of at least what our initial argument and understanding of this whole situation was, which it was between Boeing and Aerojet,
I think that's right.
Yeah. And it's clearly not the case anymore. Now it's a tit for tat.
Airbus is what it was.
Airbus, thank you.
Airbus, not Aerojet. Yeah, Airbus.
Yeah. So this no longer has to do with that argument that started 15 years ago. This is just retaliatory. This doesn't even make sense anymore.
Right. Yeah. Well, especially considering it's like, I think the general consensus is like nobody's okay with tariffs. Like nobody wants to pay more for the things that they enjoy, and then to see that these major U.S. tech companies are backing it just because they got slapped with a tax back in July, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, well, 100% tax on you now. Like that's insane. But yeah, I think
it's
we're
economic warfare, and it's real dumb. And because the people who don't get affected by it are the people who are imposing these, and they're just doing it to make a point. And the argument still has been from this administration that consumers won't feel the hit. It's right, but if you know anything about tariffs and basic fucking economics, obviously consumers are feeling the hit. They're the only ones who really feel the hit. The producers will feel the hit as well, but they have to pass it along. This is dumb.
Yeah, and that's actually something that a lot of the tariffs in terms of like Scotch went into effect, over the past week. And I saw people talking about today, for example, one of our favorite Scotches, Lafroig, Lagavulin 16, went up. I think it was somewhere on the realm of around like $18 to $20, which I would still pay, but
yeah,
it's happening. And yes, the consumers are the ones that are paying for it. But moving on to our next story, Molson Coors is going to cease production at Irwindale, California facility in September of 2020. Molson Coors, formerly known as Miller Coors, shut down a brewery back in 2016 in North Carolina. They say they have extra capacity to compensate for this additional loss of a brewery. This brewery in particular down in Irwindale is a 40-year-old brewery. It has 470 employees. 4.8 million barrels were produced there in 2019. They make Miller Lite, Coors Light, Miller High Life, MGD, Steel Reserve, and Miller 64. They announced that they did a cost-saving plan and revisation back in October 19, and they claim that this was actually not part of that plan. So just 4 or 5 months ago, they made this announcement, and this wasn't part of it. And but someone who does have first rights to buy it is Pabst Blue Ribbon, who they were in a major lawsuit with last year, who currently has a contract coming up with City Brewing, which they're thinking about doing. So with all that said, I mean, you have these conglomerates becoming bigger and bigger, but even though they're becoming bigger, they're getting more lean. And in this situation, you're looking at potentially 470 people losing their jobs. So again, more job loss in the news.
Yay!
It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with lack of diversification in terms of product that's available. I think a lot of people don't think about, because they see PBR everywhere, they see Molson, they see Coors everywhere, depending on your regionality, and so you just sort of assume that it's already a behemoth. But when those behemoths are taking out other they're buying out other products out of the marketplace, and then closing down their plants because they can run more efficiently out of, I don't know, this is pure conjecture, 17 as opposed to 20, right? Then that hurts everybody. You know, the beer industry hurts for it. Basic economic, everybody in the U.S. hurts for it because everybody's losing jobs. We just don't have enough to go away. We have to maintain and support. I don't want to say support local, but we got to support smaller companies and speak with your dollar.
Yeah, I feel like, man, all these headlines are just like job losses.
I didn't realize that until I read them. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, don't worry, the next one's fine. But
it's like, damn.
Wait for it.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's really pertinent information. I mean, I think this is kind of like that microcosm of, as an entire society, like we're moving more towards this automation, and like I said, they're getting leaner and meaner. So they're claiming that they're going to be able to replace 4.8 million barrels of production with ease. And this huge cost savings plan that they rolled out back in October, this wasn't part of it. So you're telling me that there was kind of, to a certain degree, this willy-nilly decision made to kind of be like, that 40-year-old facility that has just been like, probably has like generational employees there.
Oh, of course.
Let's get rid of it.
Let's just cut it out.
We weren't, we were thinking about it 4 months ago, and now we're going to be like, we're moving on from it.
To me, that means that there was like an aha moment when they're going through their numbers and probably some sort of technology that they came across where they said, oh, well, if we plug this into these other plants that are more likely to be, improved with technology, then we can get rid of some, and then it's just a numbers game for them.
Yeah, and I think it would be interesting to see if Pabst takes the opportunity to open up their own facility. So Pabst has always been a contract-produced beer, and Miller Coors was doing that for the longest time. And, like I said, like they were planning on making this transition over the next 4 to 5 years into city brewing. And now they have this opportunity to potentially just take over their own facility. Like, is that something that does make sense for them? Do you think it can make sense for them? I mean, hopefully it does, because, you don't want to see anybody lose jobs. But I guess they have the first right to buy.
That's interesting.
That they would give that to them. So
I'm wondering why they have first right. Was that did they write it into a contract and say, oh, by the way, folks, if one of these comes up at some point in time, we would like first right of refusal.
It could have been part of their lawsuit that they were involved with last year, where Coors was trying to get out of the contract, right. And Pabst was like, that's not how this works. Like, we had this agreement, and you need to continue to produce our beer. But then maybe like through that process, they were like, if we use some of our facilities, you can buy it first if you want it.
Can you remind our listeners what some of that lawsuit last year was?
Well, I think it had to do with, because I'm not as complete. I mean, beer is a little bit outside of my realm of interest, but when Molson and Miller Coors came together, sometimes when you have those contracts set up, they can fall by the wayside, right? And in this scenario, it was kind of like, yeah, we don't know if we want to keep up with the production levels that Pabst requires. I mean, that's a huge brand. That's Absolutely. A lot of beer to make.
It's a lot of hipster bars. They need their water.
Yeah. And so I think there was some issues with, them not producing what they wanted them to produce. And so it, went into this, very, very public lawsuit and everything like that. And eventually they were able to come to this other agreement with City Brewing, but the transition was going to take place over 5 years, like I said. So, is this a way for them to kind of be like, wash their hands of it and be like, fine, fuck off and go make your own beer, like right. we're so sick of everything you put us through recently, that could be it. But yeah, I mean, I see all these things and these stories, and then this is a much different example, but then you have like these machines at home that can make drinks for you now. And it's just kind of like, why are we automating away every single thing that people do? You know, or like you go to the bank and it's kind of like, well, you know, you can do that at the ATM. It's like, you know that you're going to lose your job if you keep recommending this to people. You know, it's just crazy. This lean, mean thing of just where, yeah, we don't need it. 4.8 million barrels. It seems like a lot to me. Obviously it's not, you know, for them to just fit it into another facility that they have. It's just kind of crazy.
It's a massive facility.
Yeah. Well, you know, one area that automation has tried to take away and that they can't is taste testing. I mean, there are electronic noses, but they don't work the same as humans. So at very least, if you're good at tasting something, you'll have a job.
Yeah,
in theory.
Yeah, that movie AI terrified me. I don't want this world to become AI robots tasting, selling. Come on.
Well, this is going to freak you out. Then this is not booze related, but recently a major Hollywood studio, I want to say it was like WB or something like that, have approved a project for an AI to use algorithms to create the perfect movie based on with like the right actors and stuff like that. They're going to like make a movie using this AI technology or attempt to, and be able to cast it like all using just these algorithms. And it was really funny. This guy retweeted the story and mentioned, it's like, you know, the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe was based on Jon Favreau convincing the heads that a coked out, fresh out of jail, self-admitted movie like blockbuster Poison, Robert Downey Jr. was the right guy. You know, like that's not going to pop up in your algorithm. So it was, there's just more of that automation coming, and it's coming for booze. So
yeah,
there's our advice to industry. If you don't want to lose your job to a robot, get better at tasting stuff.
Get a better nose.
Get a better nose. You know, like anybody can. All right, now for some good news.
Yay!
And I mean, I'm taking all the sharp objects away.
Sorrows away. With this thing.
The Smith starts playing in the background.
Yeah, 7%.
The sharp objects away from Chloe, and I'm going to read this now. Distill Ventures is taking a minority stake in Ritual Zero Proof. This is a Chicago-based company that was launched in September of 2019, so very, very recent. This group will retain major ownership. The investment will help to drive brand growth, and then really increase the direct-to-consumer touching that they're able to do. Ritual Zero Proof does a gin and whiskey substitute. Now, Distill Ventures is actually the first investment group that got into Seedlip. So a brand that people are a little bit more familiar with in terms of the no ABV. And I know we kind of already blew this earlier in our prep, but before our conversation earlier, did either of you guys know who Distill Ventures were?
Did not.
I did not.
Okay.
Who is Distilled Ventures?
Is anybody at home know?
I can hear them yelling.
Just no. Okay. So Scooby-Doo reveal, the whole time Distill Ventures is Diageo.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So and in 2017, Diageo did a similar thing with Seedlip, where they took some seed money, threw it at it, and helped grow it, and they actually created an entire arm based around low ABV, no ABV spirit options. This is obviously a callback to what we talked about in our last episode. The things that we're excited about are these no ABV things that are happening. In fact, since then, there's a bar in Portland that's opening up that's going to be a no alcohol bar.
Right.
Oh, wow.
There was a pop up in San Francisco through the holiday season, which is no ABV. I thought that was great. Yeah. Locally here, Lindsay Nader and Nick Amano are launching a low ABV, no ABV consulting company. I think that's not the only thing they concentrate on, but it's all about balance, and it's called Equal Parts. Yeah. Which I think that's great. I think there's a lot to experience in this realm that I think most people sort of scoff at. I for sure am guilty of scoffing at the idea of low ABV or no ABV cocktails in my career, and I think less, to my own defense, it was less about whether or not I saw value in them, and more about whether or not my assumption of what the consumer wanted, whether or not they would see value in it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole low ABV thing is really funny because when we first opened up Empress Tavern, on the menu we had 2 low ABV cocktails. And it was because the person consulting, she did a lot of bar consulting in San Francisco, and that's like really common there. A lot of bars have cocktails that are low ABV, or they offer, spirits of that nature. And when we first opened, people were like, what the hell is this? And I even thought, I was like, why are we doing this? Like, if I'm paying $9 for a cocktail, like, I want to get fucked up, like, right? But I think with our industry, the great thing about our industry is, like, we have, like, this, like, level of excess in almost a sense, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, we have all these things at our fingertips, you have these spirits, I have these wines in front of me, and it's like, we have the tendency to, take advantage of that. So having low ABV options, I think, are really great because a lot of people, you want to be able to last the night, or like you want to, go out with friends and you don't want to get, fucked up. You have a crazy day tomorrow. And if you have more bars and more places that are offering, low ABV wines or, low ABV spirits, cocktails, I think it can only be better for, this industry for sure.
Well, I think also if you're not, a burden on society like the three of us are, I think that offering people who practice moderation a lot more regularly than we do a chance to still be in the social milieu is always still a good thing. Or people who simply just don't partake. There's no reason you don't deserve to be out in public with everybody else. Also, personally, my wife, now being pregnant, has been desperately looking for great cocktails, things that she can consume that sort of replace in that way the same experience, because alcohol just has a different flavor, and apparently you miss that when you're pregnant.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
I didn't miss it when she was pregnant because I'm, still drinking.
You're still partaking.
Here I am. But finding that locally was very difficult, which is why when we opened up Good Bottle, it was one of the first things that we brought in was the no ABV stuff.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, I do get caught off guard by how expensive it can be, because I do wonder myself, I'm like, well, what exactly am I paying for here? And I think that's where the education comes, right? And that's where something like a vehicle like Diageo, the means that they have, can help with, sure. Right? And doing events and having, educations and stuff like that. It's like, this is why that cost is still there, because it's like, I can enjoy a seedlip cocktail, but I also I do wonder internally, I'm like, why does this cost this much? Like,
yeah, it costs just as much as a bottle of whiskey or a bottle of vodka. A classic bottle of gin, for sure. It costs exactly the same amount. So when people are arguing, and I've heard it argued that it can help with pour costs, I'm like, no, it doesn't. The bottle costs just as much as a bottle of gin, so it doesn't change anything. Right. Your margins are still exactly the same as they would be, but it can affect the alcohol volume in a cocktail. That's cool. Mm-hmm. It gives you a different experience for sure. Yeah, and that's something that can be worked with.
Yeah. So it's I think Distill Ventures, like I said, they started with Seedlip. Now they're doing this Ritual Zero Proof. Just other ones, just so people know. Starward Whiskey is a Distill Venture investment.
Is it?
Yeah. Westward as well.
Oh, wow.
Stauning Whiskey out of Europe. That's one as well. You can visit their website and you can actually apply to
good to know, get
an investment from them. So they just have what we look for and all this different fun stuff, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, and I've always believed, say what you will about some of the bigger companies, but when the big companies do invest in certain things that other people aren't, that's because they have the data to back it up. The trends are there. They're not going to spend money on stuff that doesn't make sense.
Agreed.
So when you see someone like Diageo really investing in a certain thing, whether it's non-alcoholic spirits, mezcals, whatever, you got to know it's like, okay, they saw the numbers, the writing's on the wall, the wave's coming.
Yeah.
So how do they get, their fingers into it, which I think is really interesting. With all that said, there it is. That's our first collaboration episode.
That felt really good, you guys.
Did it?
Yeah.
That's great. I'm happy Chloe feels taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel great.
I think, I liked it as well. It was fun to have another perspective when it came to the stories and stuff like that. We really got to teach her not to like stuff, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know if I fully understand that rule, but I try to abide by it.
And I said smooth, so I'm already...
Yeah, the smooth thing.
I
Good
lost it.
Lord.
It'll take me easily a week
It's
to get over
embarrassing.
Unforgivable.
New year, new me.
that. You know
All
what?
right.
Do you, Chloe?
I will.
Yeah. Hey, cheers, everybody.
Cheers,
Cheers to
everybody.
that.
Here's to season 2.
The Good Bottle Podcast was recorded at the Good Bottle Shop in Sacramento, California. Music is by Leon Moore and Chase Moore. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Good Bottle Podcast.